Emiliano Martinez, welcome to the big interview. It's good to have you on as a guest. Normally, we like to talk about things that make our guests, their chest swell out or make them smile. But, Emiliano, let's start with tears. Because you know Britain well enough by now that we love people who fight. We do love winners, but if winners show their emotional side as well, then you're an honorary Brit for the rest of your life. Probably you're going to get a House of Lords entry. You're going to be Lord Martinez. So tell us where the tears came from and why they came.
Obviously, I went through a lot through the youth. Obviously, when I left my hometown in Argentina, I was really young when I left my house, my home at the age of 12. Obviously, for a better life and for a dream, it was to play in Independiente, my club in Argentina. And at the age of 12, I started living on my own in Buenos Aires. It was like a hotel full of players from different parts of Argentina. Obviously, now my best friend is from there. But at the time, it was difficult to leave my brother and to leave my mum and dad. And at the age of 16, I was playing a tournament for Argentina under 17. And Arsenal obviously contacted my club and they wanted me to do a trial for 1 week. Not a trial, it's just a confirmation for Wenger to say yes, and Jerry Payton, who was a goalkeeper coach at Arsenal at the time. And when I came back to Argentina, I wasn't really sure that I said to my agent, I don't really want to leave Argentina. I was too young. I was a teenager. Honestly, my mum and dad, my mum and my brother, in the office of the chairman of Independiente, said, look, we want to sell you because we need to finish the stadium. And my mum and my brother start crying. Say, like, my brother was 2 years older than me. Says, please don't go. You're too young. You're gonna make it here in Independiente. And so financially, my dad was struggling. And I left. And obviously, after 10 years of fighting and going on loan and not having the opportunity in the club that I love and the club that I really wanted to succeed, I was like, at some point, I was like, I'm not going to make it here. And when I did, and I had a chance after 10 years, I took it, those 12 or 11 games I played under Arteta in the Prem, and I won the FA Cup. It was emotional. It was a dream come true. Obviously, my dream was to be Arsenal #1 and Argentina #1. And that's why I said to my dad when I signed for Arsenal. Obviously, I done an interview straight after the game, and I remember my all the fight I done those 10 years and those tears, because there was emotional tears after the game. I had some tears before because I didn't have my chance in the club. Because when I spoke with Chesney, he said, congratulations, I knew you're going to make it. It was a nice message that he sent me. And I said to him, look, everyone had a chance in the club. You had a chance, Fabianski had a chance, Almunia, even Manoni had 15 games. Arsenal. I never had it. I said, we came from the youth, and everyone had a chance apart from me. So that's why it took me 10 years to finally have a chance, and I took it. And that's why I was emotional.
It's a beautiful thing, emotion. I mean that now, no joking. When great sportsmen and women are dedicated and they're skillful and they show the world their heart, I think it's a beautiful thing. And what people outside your circle didn't know is that by moving, you helped pay for the Libertadores de America. You helped pay for the Stadium of Independiente.
I dedicate my whole life for Arsenal. Basically, from 16, 17 to 27, 28, I dedicate choose for Arsenal. Always my hard work was for Arsenal. So that's why it was emotional. I love this club, and I want to win a lot of things for Arsenal. And obviously, now when I get back, that's my first priority. Play as many games as I can to win more things for Arsenal. And I know that I can win more things with Arteta.
But let's stop for a second, because the interview on the pitch after winning the trophy was one thing. But I have to believe that the first moment that you can turn to your wife and pass her an FA Cup medal needs to be a beautiful moment in your life. I'd love to know also, Did you do a Zoom call with all the family back home in Argentina and just showing them this little addition to the family?
Yeah, it's a picture of me talking with my family on Wembley after the game. I called my wife called me in the dressing room. Obviously, it was very noisy, and she said, "Oh, please call your dad and your brother and your mom. That they're all crying your dad cannot talk. He's crying so much." And I said, "Okay, I go outside because in the dressing room was really noisy." And obviously, when I called them, they were all crying, and they were crying so much that I obviously had some tears as well after the game because the way they were crying. It was really nice moment, to be honest. It's a moment that I will never forget.
In the game itself, was there any problem about crowding out, not emotion, but concentration? Or on the day, never mind the game, that was a stupid question, Emiliano.
Yeah.
In
No,
the day,
you know why?
Nothing got in the way.
Nothing, because I knew exactly what I wanted. And obviously I work on psychologies as well, on red and blue mind. And obviously before the game, it was the game at 4:00, and we done 3 circles with the psychologists of the club at 1:00 the day of the game, and an hour and a half the day before, choose me and psychology to make sure I leave the red zone out of the game and concentrate on the blue side, which is it was winning the game, help the team to win, distribution, concentration, crosses, and obviously through games, the red zone goes on you like national team. We're losing the game, the FA Cup is going away, and it goes with you. But I think the best sportsmen they transform, or they switch on quickly to the blue zone. And if you see our mentality of Arsenal, when we concede the goal, we straight start playing better. We straight, and I did not have to do a save. I think after the goal, maybe one more save. But the whole game I was on blue zone. And the second half, it was. I did not enjoy one moment because I was already focused. Even with down to 10 men, I knew Oli Giroud is one of the best header inside the box in the league. So you see, I take 3-4 crosses in the second half. The distribution was good. It's something that really worked in my game, the mental side.
So you can tell by looking at me, it's too late for me to win an FA Cup medal, but it's never too late to learn. So I'm a reasonably educated guy, and Neil was nodding in the background there. I didn't know about blue zone, red zone. Do I interpret it correctly that the red zone is the
negative side?
Negative because you're flashing onto things that don't matter. Because if you're thinking about that's not negative in itself, but it's negative in the moment because it can distract you from your performance. Is that fair? Is that right?
It distracts you from the game because you cannot think about new contract, you cannot think about national team, you cannot think another club, you cannot think the next game if you're not concentrating in the crosses or in the shot from outside the box or in the distribution. You need to concentrate on the moment. And that's something I learned over the years. And I'm glad, because before, when I was younger, I thought psychology is just for crazy people. And it's wrong. Psychology is to help you concentrate and mature on the pitch, off the pitch as well. And it's something that I wish I'd done a long time ago, but I do it now. And when I do it, I feel, mate, I'm ready to do everything in every moment, and then just focus in the game. And it's something, when I concede a goal in Chelsea, it goes through the head, oh, we're losing, FA Cup, medal, trophy. But then I quickly switch on and say, okay, we're going to do it. Concentrate on the next ball. Make sure you don't concede again. And that's something really good and really clever to work on as well, on mental side.
Is it a little bit like you listen to top tennis players, top golf players talking about muscle memory? You can make the mind a muscle and remind it that it must contract and do the right things if something goes against you, or if a difficult thought comes in, your mind can punch it away because your memory is not now. That's the wrong thought.
Yeah, the mind controls your body. I have friends in Argentina that they players like Messi, but the mental side, it took them to another path. And I learned over the years, because I came from poor family. I came from and now everything think, oh, you rich, and now you got everything, and it's easy, and it's not, and it's so hard to be at the top. And obviously now you think, you want the FA Cup, you want this, you're a successful guy even if you retire now. And I said no, because my game, I want to win World Cups, I want to win the league, I want to win Europa League, I want to, and that's something that to work, because if you relax, if you're in the, Wenger used to say, players that gets into the comfort zone, they're not good enough. We have to get rid of them. And it's true, because players sometimes say, oh, we won, it's okay now, next season easy. That's when you get players in comfort zone, and it doesn't work like that. You always have to win more and win more and want more.
The credit goes to you, and the credit goes to your psychologist, sports psychologist. But if you go way back, to whom do you owe a thank you for persuading you that sports psychology wasn't for somebody who was crazy? Sports psychology was like giving you an extra piece of power in your armory. Who convinced you to give it a try, to start to believe?
Myself. And obviously, as well, a little bit, obviously, this is very internal, but I'm going to tell you a bit my mum. Because obviously she was divorced from my dad, and she was a bit low and she was a bit down, and I offered her to go to psychology because she was a bit low. And she said, psychology for crazy people, like I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. And I went once with her to help her to obviously to have a new life, a better life. And from there, kind of like, obviously, and then Arsenal appoint David, which is psychology of the club. And he came, please come to me, come to my office, I will help you when you're not playing. And I thought, like, okay, I have a try. It was probably 3-4 years ago. And I was like, wow, this guy is actually good. I never thought, okay, I'm going to do exercise for mental brain. I said exercise for brain. I was like, I'm not crazy. And actually over the years, when I start playing, when I start doing exercise, it's a muscle. And when you do upper body, you work on your arms and your biceps. I say, it feels good afterwards. Well, this is the same thing. The day before the game in the final, I worked an hour probably, or 45 minutes. And I thought, wow, I'm confident, I'm ready, I want to play. And maybe before, it's like, imagine if I don't play well in the final, what people will say. But top professional hides that. They hide it. And I like to tell the people the truth, like what a really professional feels. They probably, obviously not the words, but they probably get scared. Everyone go to the toilet 5 times before the game, but no one like to say that. But if you confident on your game, you can perform.
Can we call it, Emiliano? Can we call it a workout for the upper body? I think that's the way we should call it.
Workout in the brain. Because if you say upper body, people will think it's upper body.
That's what we call double upper. The brain workout. Has it changed you?
Here we go.
Learning these things, has it changed you also as a man? Do they give you things that you can bring into patience or determination in daily life?
No, not really. Not really. Because I always had determination. I always had a hunger. I always have. It's something that is my strength. Is how much I want to win things. How much I want this in my life. How much I don't know. I like a game, a Call of Duty, and I play until I die. I love my wife and my kid, and I will love them forever. It's something that I don't change often. And I wanted to be Arsenal number 1, and I say when I was 19, 18. When I go on purpose, I don't stop doing it. That's me. But in between, I'm doing exercise. I'm doing has the same thing that I'm doing power in the gym to make me a better goalkeeper. Now I'm doing this exercise last few years in your brain, and it helps me to be even better.
Do you think you've changed the life of your mum and your dad by showing them that all the time that they worried about you when you said, no, I'm determined, it's fine, don't worry about me, leave me, I'm a grown-up now. And now, I guess they always trusted you, but now they see you with millions of audience playing really well for weeks, and a medal. Do you think you've changed their lives by what you've done?
No, not really, because we all are really humble family, business people. And they knew that was going to happen at some point. They knew my talent. They knew how much I worked for. And when I done it, they said, you done it. That's what you were working for. So they were not surprised. So they were not like, oh, okay, now everyone knows us more. Not really, because they knew how much I worked, and they knew that moment will come. And I knew it as well.
It's a beautiful thing to listen to this kind of certainty. I guess what I want to ask now a little bit is that when we've had, hello.
Yeah, so I got my kid and the dog.
You've got a big fan there. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's lovely to hear. When we've had guests on this, I don't know if you've been in England long enough to remember Kevin Kilbane playing for Blackburn and for Ireland and for Everton. And Kevin is now a commentator. And he told us about how when he was young and growing up in Lancashire, there were weekends when he didn't have food, they didn't have electricity, and they used to, I haven't been counting, but I think that's it. That's 8 o'clock, by the way.
Yeah, because I'm in the mountains, so it's very.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. We've got half an hour. He used to tell us that they used to take a 50p piece and wrap wire around it and put it into the meter to get electricity. But then the wire would pull the 50p piece back out again because they didn't have enough money to pay for the electricity property. When you talk about how tough things were for your parents, try and give people some understanding about what the struggle was like and also why it was like that, because most of our audience haven't been to Buenos Aires or Argentina, and therefore they can't compare.
No, I'll explain. I'm from Mar del Plata. It's a lovely seaside city, but obviously people don't really know that we lived in a house. Obviously, my mom and dad couldn't afford to have doors, so we lived, me, my brother, the kitchen, my dad and my mom in one room for 4 years until my dad can afford to extend and do a door and move to. We have no toilet. What else can I tell you? Obviously, we used to walk probably 4 or 5 kilometers to get a bus to go to the school. So me and my brother used to walk since the age of 4 and 6 alone to the school, because obviously my mom has to work in cleaning apartments, and my dad had to go and it was a truck transport. He was working for, he was getting fish from the ships and transporting to the fabric factory. I don't know how you say. And he was just a driver. Used to work 20 hours to get obviously the money, enough money, and it was his own truck. And it's a story that obviously I left early at school because I was a bit sick, and my dad picked me up from the school and took me to work, and it was raining, and my dad had a truck. It had a hole in the ceiling, and it was pouring rain inside the truck, and it was just a story that one day we used to have just white rice, and I remember it wasn't enough for everyone, so my mom and dad said, we're not hungry, and you and your brother can eat. And I was old enough to understand what was going on, and my mom's, when she read that, I said, how can you say that? How can you make us look like and I said, no, Mom, my brother said, this is a reality. People like to know stuff like that, because I didn't born in a golden cot. And everything that, when I went to Buenos Aires, my dad, it was struggling to pay the petrol to come to see me. So I used to borrow money from my friends there in the hotel, asking for some money to get a bus to go to see them to Mar del Plata. It was 4 hours away from Buenos Aires. And I'm proud how far I become. Now I can buy them wherever. We go 50 trucks. My brother sells fish to different countries. We go a construction company with my brother. My dad got 3 cars, and when I signed for Arsenal, because they were giving me a bonus, it was enough to buy my dad a car. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to sign, because I was going to get that signing fee to buy the car for my dad. Like, he always wanted to work. It's when I say yes, it wasn't because it was Arsenal, which is one of the biggest clubs in the world. It was because I was going to give them a better life. And it's a lovely story, and that was the first question from you, where the tears come from.
Now,
and I can tell you much more, and it's a long story,
But Emiliano, I ask because I think that when people see glory, when people see success, doesn't matter if it's baseball or boxing or football or golf, and they feel that they can connect with the story, I think you inspire people, boys and girls, in different circumstances, maybe not as tough as your family had it, but they say, look what he did, look at his trayectoria, and they say, I can do it. So the reason to tell this story is not to go back and look at how humble it was. I think it's an inspiration. Do you know what I mean?
I trained 4 years in the parks in the age from 8 to 13, and the goal was 2 balls from one side to the other, or 2 jumpers. If it was one jumper there, one jumper on the other side, that's a goal. And from the age of 8 to 12 in the park, and that's a reality. People can make it with nothing. There's no excuses. But the difference from the young people now to the people before in Argentina, it was like everyone gives you a ball as a present, or you play out with your friend. Here, maybe they go out for clubbing, or they go out for PlayStation, or they got different. In England, they got a different mentality, the young boys. They don't really hang out outside. They hang out more inside playing video games, or they got iPhones, or where I live, when I'm from, it's a different story. Which is everyone breathes football in Argentina. There's something that is so much love, there's so much passion for it, and I'm glad I'm from there.
You think that some of the basic passion, hunger for football, where you see in England, it has been lost a little bit?
No, not lost. It's because they didn't go through what I've been through. I'm not wishing anyone to go through what, I mean, I don't wish my kid to go what I went through, but I'm proud, and I would chose my life again the same way, because the reason that I am the person I am today is because my mom and dad, of how much they worked to get what they wanted, to get me a roof. My dad, he was so proud in his life for me and my brother to have a roof. That was his purpose in life. Imagine how tough that was. His whole life worked.
Literally a roof.
Just to get me a roof. Imagine how tough that was. Just a roof. And we had a roof, I had no doors for 2-3 years. So, but he was proud, and we were happy, and that's the main thing. That's what I want to teach my kid one day, to have a purpose in life and to appreciate everything like I do now.
Let's pass you some appreciation. So one of the guys who always follows our interviews is a guy called Ben Nicholson, and Ben says, as a Reading fan, Emiliano, it's safe to say you played an enormous part in keeping us up the other year. While it's very easy for loan players to coast along when they know they're leaving, you always seemed so determined, and you bought into the club, Reading and the supporters. How do you feel that the mental challenge of trying to keep a club up prepared you, or helped prepare you, for your chance this season? And he says, by the way, every Reading fan was thrilled to see you lift the cup. Did it help you prepare for the way you took your chance this season, the time at Reading? Particularly, I guess, after the Reading Arsenal game must be one of the most difficult experiences of your life, right?
Yeah, it was when I had the option to go at Reading, it was yes. Obviously, because I knew the club, that 7-5. That every Arsenal fan remember that game, and they hammered me for so many years for one game that was 18-19. I was very nervous that game. Obviously, when they shoot, it was a goal. It was 4-0 in 20 minutes. And when I had it ready, I had that mentality because I'm a winner and I wanted to succeed already. I said to myself and to my wife, this is my last loan in my career. I do not want to go on loan again. And that kind of helped me to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to give my best here every game. Obviously, I'm so thankful to Reading because the way Jose Gomez was the coach and all my mates, which are some of them I keep in touch, they give me the opportunity to play, and the football style that Reading had, it suit me. They play out from the back, they're risking through balls to the middle, and it was a challenge for me. And it was double challenge. It was keeping them up and last loan on my career. And that keeps me going through, I don't know, it was 18 games on the bounce, or 19 games. And when I finished the season at Reading, I was like, that's Emi that I want to see every game. And obviously, I spoke with Arsenal saying, okay, if you are no second choice with equal chances to be number one, I'm leaving. And obviously, Javi Garcia and Unai, they trust me. They sold Ospina to limit that spot. And obviously, Sech retired. And I had the equal chances with Leno this season playing Europa League. And I played 23 games at Arsenal. But I carry on what I left with Reading. Because the way I finished with Reading is the way I wanted to play for Arsenal. So I'm playing the same way that I did with Reading. The same confidence. And I wanted to do the same thing next season.
Now, we'll come to that for sure. You've been lucky in that you've been around some Hispanics and Spanish-speaking people during your time at Arsenal that are incredible. So, for example, I imagine at your low point, watching the determination of Santi Cazorla to come back must have been not an inspiration because you're a winner, you're hard, you're determined, but when you see somebody else, it's like a shared experience. And if I'm not wrong, let's not talk about Mikel Arteta, the manager. Also, Mikel Arteta, the teammate, is an intelligent man, a good man, not just a good football man, and somebody who I think maybe helped you when you needed support and feeling and encouragement, right?
Yeah. As for me, Mikel and Santi and Nacho, they were really good influence for us, for me and Hector Bellerin. Because I remember Mikel saying, oh, Emi, I think you're ready now to play. You improved so much. And I was 20, 21. And the way he was talking is to like a manager. And he was a player, that was Mikel. He took me once to his house because his wife's Argentina, and he invited me for lunch. He was a lovely, lovely man as a football player. Obviously, we have respect for him, Santi and Nacho, because they were older than us. But I think for Hector and for me, they were examples. And obviously, what happened with Cazorla, it wasn't just an inspiration for any footballer; it was an inspiration for young kids, and that was football is all about. It's about inspiring young people as well, not just playing the game. For me, it's not just a game; it's more than that. For some footballers, no, some footballers just football. For me, it's an inspiration and it's a model for young people. Where I come from, there's lots of people who go through drugs and they prefer drugs instead of going somewhere else. And football, it takes your mind away from that. It takes you the mind away from nightclub, from alcohol, from drugs. And what happened with Santi, it was the same. It inspired people saying, oh, they got an injury, if Cazorla in 3 years we out game and come back and was a key player for Villarreal, why I cannot do it? Why? So it's something I take my hat off for Santi. And obviously, if one day I see him again, I would just say congratulations, and you're an inspiration for everyone.
Well, he's gone to play with Xavi in Qatar, and I'm in contact with Xavi, so I'll pass the message for you. One of our socios, Richard Cook, says that one of the great things about the cup final and other games not having fans is you can hear the manager. And Richard says that Arteta shouting instructions in English, in French, in Spanish, and also the quality. It seems to everybody outside that Arteta is one of these managers that in the drinks breaks, he's got so much clear, concise information. Like, for example, asking Tierney to go after Aspi, it seemed that's what he was indicating. It seems like in breaks when managers normally can't get a lot of information through, he goes, this, everybody listens, and then it happens, right?
Yeah, right. It's a really good advantage for us having Arteta in the water break. He tells so many things in, I don't know, in 20 seconds. He's a very clever man. You can tell Aubameyang, the captain and the leader of our team, saying "my manager" in a social media post. It means a lot having a manager like him, and it means a lot knowing every single player, knowing that we trust him. You know, when you have a manager that not everybody in the club or in the team trusts him, it's difficult to everyone be on board and go in the same way. And we Arteta and obviously his team, you can feel that you're going in the same direction, and that's the key. That's why we won the cup. That's why we qualified to Europe, because everyone is pushing the same way.
So what does Arteta, I guess you're going to now have to fight out with Leno for the number of first team places. But what does Arteta ask you as a goalkeeper to do? Because you seem to be extremely, like Ter Stegen or Ederson or Alisson, you seem to be extremely comfortable with your feet. He wants to play out from the back. Explain what Arteta is asking of you or has been asking of you.
Well, obviously with Arteta, he wants us to be high. And play as a centre back. When we play with line of four at the back, we are a spare centre back. We are actually behind them, and obviously it's a high risk, but that's what he wants us to play. I mean, he wants us to be a football player, and obviously me and Bernd, we can do it, and I feel really comfortable with the ball on my feet. We score, I think, since the restart, and when I started playing, I think we scored 3 goals. Playing now from the back and obviously doing what he wants. And obviously, if he say, Amy, you have to be outside the box and play with the centre back without your hands, and you have to do it. And I feel connected with them the whole time. And when I feel connected with my back four and I touch the ball a lot, that's why I perform, because I'm never switch off of the game. And it's something that I really enjoy doing it. Obviously, many goalkeepers, they don't really want the risk, because obviously if we make a mistake, it's a goal. And you make a mistake at Arsenal, it's a big thing. But we comfortable. I've been doing it so many times, so many years. I play futsal so many years in Argentina, so I'm comfortable with my feet.
So I'm thinking, when you say about goals after the restart, I'm thinking about that build-up goal against Manchester City, against the maestro of this whole idea. That goal was not just important to get to, it was beautiful. That was one of the goals of the, yeah, I mean, that's the right word for it, right?
That's exactly what he works in training. Switching side, me waiting for the striker to press me, and you think, oh, the goalkeeper is I have to wait for someone to come to me. I'm like, if I miss it, it's gonna go. You know what I mean? But it's beautiful. I like the risk, and when you risk, you get rewards. And we're glad that we did it against City. That's the best passing team, if not in the world, is the best passing team in England.
Okay, you've talked about the back four plus the centre half without the hands. You're part of you make the back four a back five. We have sponsors. Bet365 have sent in this question to Emiliano. Past or present, so from your whole experience, playing with, watching, admiring, who would be your dream back four to play behind? So you're in your dream team, I'm putting you as the goalkeeper, and you can pick any back four. Who would those 4 names be?
Well, so obviously Van Dijk I watched so many times, and I play against him a few times. Is ridiculous. He's so strong and he's so good with his feet. And you can hear him the whole game. He's a leader. I really like him. Hector Bellerin, first year to Arsenal, he was unbelievable. The best right back I ever seen live. We chose Bellerin, Van Dijk. In England or anywhere?
You can go Raton Ayala, you can go Pochettino, you can go anybody you care for.
There's a Hector Bellerin, Van Dijk, Ramos. I'll go Ramos and Ashley Cole.
It's a perfect selection. It's a perfect answer. And I remember you playing against Ramos. The first time I ever commentated on one of your games was Getafe at Bernabeu. And the score went the wrong way, and the idiot striker got himself sent. But you made, I remember, a really good save from Cristiano Ronaldo right in close, one from Benzema at his feet, and one diving from Gareth Bale. And I was like, despite plays like this, why is he not number one at Arsenal? Was my point of view that day in La Liga when you were with Getafe.
Yeah, obviously, I would improve so much, and if I was playing every game for Getafe, that's what Jerry Payton said, that they would not buy anyone if I was playing every game. Because when I went there, it was already so close from La Liga to start. And obviously the manager didn't know me, so he played White at the time, was the number one for Palace now. And obviously we start winning, and the team was doing really well, so he couldn't change. So I think I played 10 games in the whole season. It was a really bad season for me, personally.
I need you to explain, and I know there are no secrets behind what you do because it's about talent, determination, concentration. But in lockdown, I want to know about this machine you had in the back garden that you made your wife work, because it sounds like something out of James Bond. And you're going to tell me it's much more simple than that. But describe it. Take us into your back garden, please.
I had a ball launcher from Sao Vivo from the club. Said, "Oh, Emi, I think it's a good idea for you to use this ball launcher." Blah blah blah. I was like, "What?" To say, "Yeah, I want it." And honestly, I used my wife the whole time to put the balls in the ball launcher. And he was sometimes he used to miss. He used to press the speed button without knowing, and you used to fire that ball machine like a bullet. It's so good. And I used to do loads of weight. I had a mini gym set up with ball drills, and I had hurdles. Because I knew that injury with Ben might happen, because we had, I think, 12 games or 14 games in 7 weeks. So I knew that maybe he might get a small injury or something. It might miss 1 or 2 games. So when I started against Brighton, I was so prepared.
But the ball launcher, is that like you see in baseball cages where you're standing with the bat and you put the ball in the machine and it fires straight at you?
You can move it around. So you can do it straight, you can bend it, you can go in different direction. You can put in one side and then put, like, you can curl into the other side. It's a very clever machine.
And when you said that your wife accidentally touched the speed button, you sure it was an accident? It didn't?
I don't know. She was, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then obviously she was helping me because we had like 10, 15 balls. So she was firing it one after the other. So just to get the eye of the ball.
She's part of the glory. She deserves half of the medal at least. In that.
Yeah, she's my trophy. Her and my kid.
Then perfect. I know that you don't know me very well, but if you allowed me to talk about football like this and sports psychology like this, I could talk all night and into next week. But we have to respect that you've got another interview coming up. So I don't want to finish, but I'm going to finish because I'm good for my word. By saying, Bet365, our sponsors, asked us about your goals for next season. As you sit here now, and next season is so close because of the strange situation that we're going through, I know with your psychology, you must have set yourself objectives. What are
they? Obviously, be Arsenal number 1 and Argentina number 1 for the Copa America.
Are you the guy to help Messi lift the Copa America, to lift the World Cup? I live in Barcelona. I've been in Barcelona 19 years. I've interviewed him 19, 20 times. It's been the thrill of my life to watch that genius so close. and it seems wrong that he's never lifted a World Cup. The World Cup is near. He's going to be 35. You're going to be #1 in Qatar. Are you the keeper that can make the saves that gives Messi his World Cup?
I hope so. I will work my life for him. I will do everything for him. So if he really needs that, I will work double that work now for him to win that trophy. So I hope so.
Then let me say to you boa noite, because you're in Portugal. Buenas noches. Muchísimas gracias. Boa noite. Muito obrigado. Then let's try to make a promise before the Copa America next summer. Please, can we invite you back on the big interview? Maybe in person if COVID has gone away. Let's have one more session before you go to win the Copa America, because this has been fantastic, Emiliano. You were everything.
Yeah, it's a
in
pleasure
person.
for me. No worry.
Yeah, it's good to talk about football, and everything that we've seen on the pitch, you've represented this interview. So thank you to your wife and to your kid for giving you over to us.
No
Muchísimas gracias. Y Forza Argentina, Forza Emiliano. Gracias.
Gracias, amigo. Gracias.
Buenas noches. Adiós,
Un
amigo.
abrazo.
Chao.
Chao, chao.
Un abrazo fuerte.